On September 19th, 1959, one of the most bizarre moments of the Cold War occurs when Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev explodes with anger when he learns he cannot go to Disneyland during his trip to the United States. Khrushchev arrived in the U.S. 4 days earlier on September 15th for a 13-day goodwill visit. The plan was to visit multiple cities across the country, beginning in Washington, D.C. The Soviet leader then spent 2 days in New York City, including a speech before the United Nations General Assembly and a visit to the Roosevelt Estate at Hyde Park. On September 19th, Khrushchev arrived in Los Angeles, where he visited 20th Century Fox Studios. There, the Soviet premier attended a star-studded luncheon with Kirk Douglas, Elizabeth Taylor, Frank Sinatra, Marilyn Monroe, and others. The visit turned less friendly when Khrushchev and Fox President Spiros Skouras got into a tense back and forth about communism versus capitalism and the threat of nuclear war. It was then that Khrushchev learned that he would not be allowed to visit Disneyland, as LA's police chief William Parker was concerned about safety at the crowded theme park. Khrushchev erupted, saying, quote, "And I say, I would very much like to go and see Disneyland. But then we cannot guarantee your security, they say. What is it? Is there an epidemic of cholera there or something? Or have gangsters taken hold of the place that can destroy me?" Tensions cooled after lunch when Khrushchev visited the set of the movie Can-Can and met one of the film's big stars, Shirley MacLaine, who tried to engage the premier in an impromptu dance, which Khrushchev jovially refused. Khrushchev went on to visit Northern California, including San Francisco. He then traveled to Iowa, where he went to a farm. The Soviet leader marveled at the automated feeding and sprinkling systems, and took the opportunity to lightheartedly joke with a farmer about looking like a real American while patting his belly. He also visited a meatpacking plant and enjoyed his first American hot dog. While eating, Khrushchev gave his hosts a backhanded compliment by saying that the Soviets may have beaten the U.S. to space, but Americans had beaten the Russians in sausage making. Khrushchev made a stop in Pittsburgh and then finished his trip back in Washington, D.C., with an important meeting with U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower at Camp David, and, on the final night, a state dinner at the White House. Despite the Disneyland disappointment, Khrushchev stated that he had been enriched by his visit, and that his talks with Eisenhower helped both men, quote, understand each other better. Here are other events that happened today in history. In 1783, in France, the Montgolfier brothers launched the first hot air balloon with living beings aboard. In 1881, 79 days after being shot in Baltimore, U.S. President James Garfield dies at age 49. In 1955, Argentine President Perón is deposed in a military coup 3 years after his wife Eva's death. In 1957, the U.S. detonates a 1.7 kiloton nuclear weapon in an underground tunnel in Nevada. In 1985, a powerful magnitude 8.1 earthquake strikes Mexico City, killing 10,000 people. In 1988, American Greg Louganis wins Olympic gold 1 day after hitting his head on the diving board. In 1997, the pitch correction software Auto-Tune hits the market and soon becomes popular. And now it's time for our Today in History quiz. The oldest war memorial in Pennsylvania is located at the site of which event? The Delaware Crossing? The Battle of Brandywine? The Paoli Massacre? Or the Valley Forge Encampment? Think you know the answer? Drop your guesses in the comments below. Find out if you're right next time on Today in History. You made it through Today in History. Nice work. Now treat yourself. Click the video on the right for what happened yesterday in history. Still can't get enough? The link on the left's got the whole playlist buffet. Want to make history a daily habit? Click my face in the middle to subscribe.